Kia ora. I've been asleep because I've just run myself ragged trying to put an end to this conflict in Russia and Ukraine and protect my king and everything that's going on with the coke sniffers and all the controversy that's going on. I'm just trying to keep everybody's head above water, and it's exhausting because I've been working on codes and stuff, but the animals are acting weird. The animals are starting to let me know that something big is coming, something history making, something's about to happen that's so groundbreaking on a historical level. I think it's gonna floor people. Sudden, quick change, and I know, I had always been told by my teacher when she taught me about the prophecy, about, the post I made about the whale rider, right? The prophecy that I have always talked about the girl from the island who brings the four corners of the globe together. I mean, that's what I'm doing now. I'm currently in the middle of trying to end this war in Russia and Ukraine and make sure that Ukraine don't go to war with Hungary, and trying to protect my king and keep America safe and all of that. The average everyday person would be thinking it's none of my business. What's it got to do with you? Keep out of it, but you're not the girl from the prophecy. I'm involved because I have to be involved, because politics, even though, I've got my coffee here too, so if I'm silent, you know why. I'm taking a sip. I'm a Scorpio, and you know how they say that every zodiac sign has their dream, their perfect profession. The things that they would be absolutely perfect at more than any other sign. So with Libra, it would be things like police officer, judge, fashion designer, interior designer, artist, musician, that sort of thing. Chefs, because it's all about perfection and luxury. They, and balance and justice, that's what they rule, right? I'm a Scorpio, and for us it's judge, lawyer, homicide detective, private investigator, scientist, forensics, anything that requires problem solving, and politics as well. Now, I hate politics. I don't like getting involved for the simple fact that nobody's honest in politics, and everybody can be bought, everybody can be bribed, everybody has a price. And to me, that's wrong. Right now, my rising sign is Libra, which means, you know how I keep saying my dorsolateral prefrontal cortex must be the size of an apple because I hate injustice? That's because of my rising sign. My ascending sign is Libra. So I like everything, like laws and the way people abide by them, to be balanced and fair and just. And we live in a society where our politicians, our lawyers, our judges, our cops, they can be corrupted, they can be bought, they can be bribed. Okay, the British government is a prime example of that. What's happening in Britain right now is a prime example of how, we've got lawyers and cops and judges and that are putting people in prison for thought crimes, because of the government being so corrupt, right? So that bothers me, and I can't not do something. So when I see an injustice, I have to do something. I whistle blow like you wouldn't believe every time I see an injustice, because to me, I can't figure out why people are okay with living in a corrupt society and why nobody does something about it. So when I see my king being threatened and his personal safety being threatened, that's offensive to me, and I have to do something, which is why I'm constantly letting him know what's going on in the hopes that it can wake him up to protect him, and so that he can do something to protect his people, because it's his responsibility. I mean, in the old days, we would have been surrounded by moats and castle walls, and we would have been, living in his grounds for our own protection, because it was the king's job to protect his people, in times of uncertainty and war and invasion and all that, which is why, like York, for example, has the castle ground walls around the city of York. And it bothers me. Now, the prophecy said that the girl from the islands, would bring the four corners of the world together, to unify them, to unite them, and bring peace and harmony, right? Now, nobody else is doing anything. Nobody else knows how to do anything. Nobody else can do anything because they're not the girl from the prophecy. I am. All Indigenous people know about the girl from the prophecy, like the First Nations people. I'm White Buffalo Calf Woman, and the Māori prophecy is, they said they believe that it was a male, a firstborn man, but that's where they get it wrong. A lot of our ancestors got it wrong. Our Egyptian ancestors got it wrong, in thinking, and even Māori ancestors, in thinking that the sun was a man and the moon was a woman, when it's actually the other way round. So I was put here to correct all of that, in order to help everything become more balanced in the universe, so that we have a fair chance to evolve. And so, obviously, in everything that I'm doing with these politicians and all this corruption that is around in this world, and that where I see it, where I am told to interject and serve my purpose as a karmic judge, and do my investigations and present my findings to people like the King and President Putin and all of that, it's what I'm here for, because it's to help bring balance, it's to help restore balance. And at the moment, my two primary roles, what I'm here to focus on right now, is to stop the war in Russia and Ukraine, between Russia and Ukraine, so there's no World War III. I've been saying that since day one. There'll never be a World War III. No matter how hard the EU and Starmer and that have tried, there will never be a World War III. All these prophets, and I mean, it's embarrassing really, these quote unquote prophets and tarot readers and all of that saying, I mean, I've had to watch it for a couple of years, them all saying about this is the end of the world and blah blah blah, and my whole life I've never ever seen it like that, ever. I have seen the end of the old world and the birth of the new, and growing up I had to observe it all to understand it. From, I knew something big was happening when the Berlin Wall came down, and when the Soviet Union broke up and all these nations got to be independent, away from communist, Russia and all of that. It was a big deal for us watching all of that in the 80s and 90s, because it meant that countries were starting to learn to stand on their own 2 feet, which is incredible. But then when I see injustices done, and obviously when I developed quantum magnetics, and I started seeing time and being able to manipulate time and stand inside the consciousness of an atom and know exactly where it was going, and being able to mold and shape where it was going, it made a huge difference to the way I interacted in the world of politics and the justice system. Because then obviously when I had to do my own investigation into what happened to me, being forced to have to do it myself because I couldn't rely on the legal system and the justice system, because the cops that I was dealing with were as corrupt as the judges and lawyers and politicians and billionaires and millionaires who were trying to end my life and finish my purpose and all of that sort of thing, because I am their biggest threat. As unassuming as I look, I am their biggest threat because I am the most powerful woman there is. You can't get more powerful than me. All I have to do is call out your name, write your name down, point you out, and you're done. Your career is finished. Your reputation is destroyed. You will lose everything. It might not happen overnight, but I guarantee you once I call you out, it is going to happen. Because I'm a Scorpio and I rule karma. But I'm balanced because my ascending sign is Libra. I know some people don't believe in this stuff, but it's too bad because it's who I am and it's what I do. I'm an occult scientist. I'm not a witch. I'm not into black magic. I don't do devil worship. I understand the science behind the occult system. And the word occult means knowledge of the hidden. So I am the scientist who understands the science behind hidden knowledge. And that hidden knowledge is all the things that people don't know about the universe and consciousness and atoms and time and energy. And whether some people want to admit it or not, and you know who I'm talking to, you know I'm talking to you, mister. The planets and the constellations and the positions of the stars and all of that play a role in that. It plays a role in that process because we're all evolving together. We all came out of the Big Bang. We are the stars. We are the planets. We are the gases. That's why we have genetic memory. That's why all living beings on Earth have minerals and gases and all of that, and biology that is made up of all other things in the universe because we all came from the one source. Now, I don't believe in horoscopes. That's BS. You're talking about 1 in every 12,000 people a horoscope is going to apply. I don't believe in horoscopes. I do not believe in using your star sign to predict the future and that sort of thing because it doesn't work like that. When it comes to astrology, it has nothing to do with, we've got Jupiter in conjunction with this and that and the other thing and blah, blah, blah. And it is all to do with the way the planets work together as an energy. And when you're talking about astrology, you have to take into consideration not just your birth chart, but your parents, your grandparents, your great grandparents, because they made you. You are a part of them. We sit in our grandmother's ovaries, and our grandmothers and our children sit within our DNA. And that's a scientific fact. We carry our generations of women in our body. We carry our children, women, especially if you've given birth. Your children's DNA stay in you forever and ever and ever. Our grandmothers carry us. We carry our mothers. We carry our grandmothers. We carry our fathers, all within our DNA. Our grandfathers, and that it's genetic memory, and our consciousness remembers when we used to be the stars and the planets, because we have those gases. It's like, at a crime scene, when you leave fingerprints and DNA, well, we're the same. Our biology, atoms, remember what we used to be, going back to the Big Bang, going back to before we were humans, going back to before there was even life on Earth. Our DNA remembers the beginning of time. It is in the very fabric of our atomic core to remember what we were before we were even living and breathing on this planet. And the occult sciences, and when you're working with astrology, you take all of that into consideration. So it's like I keep saying to people, you know, when you go to these tarot readers, because I've studied this for years, years, because I grew up with tarot readers and card readers when I was 16. My sister taught me how to read normal playing cards and that, so I've studied this stuff for years, trust me, decades. And you can't do a tarot reading and say this is for Scorpio, this is for Leo, this is for Aquarius. You can't do that because, you know, and because you see people getting upset because people are saying, well, that's not my reading. Well, it's not their reading. And just because you're an Aquarius or whatever your star sign is, and someone's doing a reading for you under that star sign, it doesn't mean it's for you. And they say take what resonates. But a tarot reading technically should only apply perfectly with one person and one person only. You should not be reading for the collective. You should be doing a reading and it's going to match perfectly to one person and one person only. For everybody else, if they say that reading's for Scorpio, it could be because at the time that reading resonates, it's a full moon in Scorpio. It's a new moon in Scorpio. It could be in the month of November. And you could be a Pisces or a Leo or a Libra or whatever, you know. So the star sign, when it comes to readings, has absolutely nothing to do with it. And they shouldn't even be applying them to readings because it doesn't work like that. And then this whole, you know, Mercury and retrograde and all of that, it can have an effect to a point, but not in a way where it's going to direct your life, because it doesn't work like that. And the only way it's ever truly going to work is if you're able to trace back the star signs of your parents and your grandparents going back generations in order to perfectly guide you, because it doesn't work like that. Our planets are ancient gods and ancestors who know so much more about this stuff than we ever will. And our ancestors got a lot of stuff wrong. And so I've been put here to recorrect all the things that our ancestors got wrong, because it's led us in the wrong direction. I mean, look at all these people that believed that aliens walked among us, and that's why Egyptians and that had big heads, those big misshapen heads. It had nothing to do with aliens at all, like at all. My Egyptian ancestors knew that there was life on other planets, but we never saw them as aliens. We saw it as consciousness. And the reason why we had those big misshapen heads, why we did that, you know, we bound our heads in that, was because we believed if we made our skulls bigger, it left room for our brains to grow and it would make us smarter. It had nothing to do with because we were trying to be like aliens or we were aliens. Alien just means foreign. So, hang on, sip. So, when you're tuned in the way I am, energy and frequency is everything. There's like a tightly, you know, when you tighten the bow on a violin or the string on a guitar, or spiderweb, sorry, not cobweb, you know, spiderweb. You know, where a spiderweb, how it's so tightly in tune that the slightest movement on it patoings, and the spider feels that vibration. The spider has the hairs all over its body that picks up on changes in frequency and atmosphere and air, and when something comes along that touches the web, the vibration travels through the spider web and up through the spider's body, through the hairs, and lets the spider know that something's there, and it'll be the slightest feather touch breeze, the slightest it would be imperceptible to humans, but to the spider, it is so in tune with the frequency and energy around it that the slightest change to that web, the spider feels it. Well, I'm exactly the same. Energetically, we are exactly the same. It's just some of us are more in tune to energy changes than other people. But with me as a scientist, because of my gift, because of quantum magnetics, when I pick up on that change, I'm able to zero in on it with pinpoint accuracy, because I read the biometric frequency around me and the atoms in the ionosphere. You know, the positive and negative particles in the atmosphere around me. The slightest change, I feel it. And I've been saying change is going to come. Something's coming, because the animals are starting to act differently. Even the flat, my holding cell, my mother always used to say that a house will start grieving when it knows you're getting ready to leave, because the pipes and the water in that will start playing up. When the pipes in your house and the water starts playing up, it means the house is getting ready to mourn your loss, because it knows you're getting ready to leave. The animals are starting to let me know, and the flat that my holding cell, I call it my holding cell, is starting to let me know that change is coming. There is a change, an imperceptible change in the atmosphere that is so tightly wound at the moment. It's like everything has gone still and holding its breath, waiting for the final tick of the clock, or the final, tipping over the edge, on the precipice, just about to tip over the edge, just about to tip into midnight, and then boom, everything changes. War is over. Corrupt politicians are removed from history. Celebrities are taken down. Suffering ends. Healing begins. Growth. Movement. Change in a new direction. I can feel it. And animals have started gathering at my door. Hedgehogs that I haven't seen for a long time have started coming out and gathering at my door. I've just put food out for the hedgehogs. They've started making themselves known to me. All the animals have started making themselves known to me. We're here. What do you need? Take us, use our energy. We're here. We've got you. We're protecting you. O Queen, O Empress, O Goddess. In the movie that I've written, The Harvest, that I've now called Message in a Bottle, that movie ends after the glass breaks, after she sings and the glass breaks, and Tardovsky is dragged by the villagers to the judge, who bangs the gavel and throws him in the box of, surrounded on the mound of the hill surrounded by the lakes of fire, she turns into an eagle with her children on her back, and she flies to the Kelly forest and sits on her throne made of wood, made of a tree trunk, with all the animals surrounding her, and she wears her crown of feathers and moss and shells and, bark and stone and all of that, because Brehena Saithusa, her crown is made up of all things elemental. So it's, feathers and shells and all of that. It's, it's organic. She has her long, unbrushed hair, because she's a earth goddess. She's like the goddess of the earth. Princess Anahita and the Dragon Princess. She's a earth goddess. Like Demeter and Persephone and all of that. And then she becomes the North Star Dragon, the Golden Dragon. But she rules the kingdoms of earth, the animals, the plants, the children, that sort of thing, because as a gatekeeper, it is my responsibility to be the guardian to the 3 keys of evolution, which is animal, children and nature. So, I've written all of that in, and the animals have gathered. Look, there they are now. If I put the phone through, I can always tell because I have sensor lights outside, and the Foxy Loxy, I call them, and the hedgehogs all come out and they eat together. I was showing my son Foxy the other day. He's gotten so big. He was a pup when I first started feeding him. So yeah, they're gathering and they're letting me know something's coming, something big is coming. And they're gathering at my door and by my bedroom window. And I said to my son, they're letting me know someone's coming to my door. I'm expecting it. I'm waiting for it. I'm literally sitting here waiting for a knock at my door. I don't know how they're going to knock at my door. It's not possible. It's metaphoric because my the buzzer to my door, I've turned it off. So if anyone comes here, they're going to have to literally text me or email me. I don't answer my phone to calls I'm not expecting. So they're going to have to let me know standing outside my bedroom window or text me before they approach the flat because I'm under lock and key. I'm under electric doors. You can't come to my front door without getting through the electric door first. And you either have to have the fob or we have to buzz you in, and I turned my buzzer off. I turned my buzzer off because I'm the first flat and everybody has to go past me to get to their own flats. And for some reason, everybody who wants to go to the other flats and delivery people and that always ring my buzzer, and it's really annoying. You don't get any peace. Like it was getting really bad, so I turned my buzzer off. So everybody who knows me knows that if you're coming here, you have to text me first. You have to message me, otherwise I'm not going to know you're pressing my buzzer. Or they come to the back and call out my name at my back window. But the animals are gathering at my door. And I said to my son, someone's coming to this flat. And they're bringing news of change. And I can feel it to the point where I'm even contemplating starting to get rid of furniture because whatever's coming is going to happen so fast. I think I'm pretty much just going to have time to grab my passports and my boys before we leave. Like, somebody else is going to be responsible for packing up our stuff. Whatever's coming, I just heard it's bigger than you imagine. I have a feeling like, how can I put it? I'm just going to have a sip. I'm not just getting my money and leaving to go and build my foundation. I think that my life is not going to be as sedate and quiet as what I'm planning it to be. I've got a feeling like God has something bigger planned for me that isn't just about building the foundation and the Dragonarium. I've got a horrible feeling like I'm about to get into politics or be involved in politics somehow. Which is going to allow me to build more and build bigger and build greater than what I'm thinking I'm going to do. Because change is going to come. And I'm the catalyst for it. And it's the animals are gathering and they're starting to let me know, get ready, because someone's coming to my door and everything's going to change overnight. And it's like I'm going to be slingshot, catapulted like a rocket into something bigger than even I'm expecting or that I have planned. And I'm leaving. My boys and I are leaving. Overnight. The prophecy said overnight. Overnight change. My teacher said overnight. Going to bed one night thinking one thing, and then by the time the sun rises, my life has completely changed. And I can't stop thinking about Russia. And I think whatever it is that is planned for me, whatever it is that my father has planned for me, that he's only just starting to let me in on, involves Russia. And not just, stopping the war. It's like, I can't put my finger on it. If we're going to Canada, then I'm gonna do business with Russia, which I always had planned, but it's like I can't stop. I'm being pulled there. I can't stop it. I don't understand it, but I can't stop it. I'm being put in position to be where the new world is being birthed. And the new world, it's like the second the war ends in Russia, everything for Russia changes. It's like it's going to spring up like a well out of nowhere that becomes like the creator of life, the spring of eternity, the spring of eternal life, the spring of, and I mean the well, like the spring, like a water spring, can't explain it, but the animals are all starting to let me know. Bears, wolves, foxes, hedgehogs, crows, horses. They're all starting to turn up in one way, shape or form, gathering, looking straight at me, all eyes on me, because they know what's coming. And it's like my Moana dream. I call it my Moana dream. All the animals gathered there, and in my Mayan temple dreams, all the animals gathered there. And my tropical island dream, I was standing on the animals to reach the clouds. It's physically starting to happen in real life. All the animals are starting to gather around me, physically and atmospherically, totemically. And I'm bracing myself, and it's like the entire planet has gone quiet because it's waiting for that change, that tick, that tipping over the edge at the precipice, just about to strike midnight. 1 second past midnight, and then bump, everything changes for the better, and nobody's expecting it. And that's going to be proof of God's miracle. People in the United Kingdom, for example, are going to wake up, and the Labour government have gone, and Starmer's been arrested, Starmer's been booted, and then they have to have a general election, and then the party that wins it isn't even like Tory or Labour, and I don't even think Reform. I really, really think, I can't even explain it. Nobody's expecting what's coming. And it's going to be such a pleasant surprise that people are going to be almost in shock at how suddenly everything changed, because it's like God or the Grand Emperor's fairy godmother is going to wave a magic wand, point his magic finger, and boom, wishes are granted, and dreams are made overnight, and change comes faster than anybody could ever imagine. Suddenly Donald Trump's gone and America can heal. Suddenly Elon Musk is in prison for corruption. Suddenly, prime ministers like German chancellors and presidents and all of that, it's like they're just going to be erased. People are going to wake up and it's all gone. And then they get to start again from scratch. For the countries that step into the new world, which I just want to keep saying is going to happen the second peace is declared in Russia, which is why the devil is trying desperately to keep the war going. And because Zelensky and Macron and that know that all hope is lost in starting a war with Russia, because, praise the Lord, Vladimir Putin kept his patience and kept his calm and didn't bite the apple that they were so desperately wanting him to take a massive bite out of, like Snow White. The poison apple, they tried desperately to get him to bite that poison apple, and he didn't. He passed the test, and he didn't, and they know they're never going to get a war out of Russia. So now they're picking on Hungary, which is like picking on a newborn baby. It's like Mike Tyson getting into the ring with a newborn baby. It's ridiculous, but it's not going to go according to plan, because God has other plans for these people that they don't see coming. And that's what the animals in the atmosphere are starting to let me know. Something is coming that is going to change these nations overnight. And for the countries that embrace it, they're going to step into a whole new way of life. The second peace is declared in Russia, because then they get to lead the way. He gets to sit on his throne, and take Russia in a whole new direction, because he's changed so much. I mean, God, talk about hammer and chisel. Had to chip away at all the things in him that needed to be chipped away, but he's done it. I'm so proud of him, President Putin. I'm so proud of. It's like he had the shock of his life. He didn't see it coming, and he's seen value in himself, and he's seen value in what he can do for this world and what he can bring to history and for Russia and the world in a positive way. It's this war, unfortunately, had to happen in order for change to happen. There is no life without death, and unfortunately, a lot of innocent people on all sides have paid the ultimate sacrifice for the world to be free of tyranny and corruption and sin, because of the human trafficking and all of that. He had to be a part of it so that the world could see the truth of who they were dealing with, and people like Macron and Starmer and that. It had to happen. It was always planned to happen like this, so that there is never another world war ever again, and there won't ever be, because change is going to come the second peace is declared in Russia. And it's like Papatua Nuku, Grandmother Earth, Gaia, whatever you want to call her. She's holding her breath, waiting for the news to come, that life begins when the new dawn rises. It's like the sun's going to come up and my life has changed. The sun's going to come up and I'm not even going to be in England anymore. Like that's how it feels. Like we're literally going to be airlifted out of England and taken into a whole new world, like boom, overnight. And that's what my teacher always said. Go to bed thinking one thing and wake up in the morning with the sun rising and everything's changed. Like not even in the same country anymore. Like just plucked out, like airlifted, plucked out. Boom, gone. Like my dream, the contract. In that dream, the plane was flying past, flying over me. And it was waiting to airlift me out of the situation that I was in. And that's what it feels like. Like the eagle has landed, like the eagle's coming and just going to airlift us out. I had a dream that I posted on Instagram, where I was flying on the back of an eagle that turned into and it dropped me, and I fell onto a flag, and all these men on horses were riding on horseback, holding out the flag for me to land on. And when the eagle landed, it was a man wearing a blue Air Force uniform. Because it's like, teacher said change was gonna just gone. And my dreams keep saying just like plucked out of nowhere, just plucked, just removed, airlifted. Like a plane's gonna hover over and drop a rope or a ladder, and my boys and I climb up, and that's it, we're gone. Just take your passports, everything else is going to be taken care of. That kind of thing. But when that happens to me, it means that change is coming for everybody else as well. So get ready, people. Because one thing I do know is that when change comes in the United Kingdom, there's going to be street parties. And that this summer is going to be the greatest summer in British history, even more than when World War II ended. Because there was a point to the celebrations when the war ended, but this is a reason to celebrate and a need to celebrate, because we've gone through the same conditions as war, like the rationing, like people are having to ration their food, people are going without, people are losing everything. We're living under the conditions of war without actually being involved in it, in one. So people of Great Britain and people of America and people of Ukraine and Russia and Palestine and that, get ready, because change is coming that you're not prepared for. Well, Russia's preparing. That's going to happen so fast that you're going to be shell-shocked. And then there's just going to be street parties, and it's going to be the greatest summer in history, because everybody's going to be celebrating peace and new beginnings and new dawns like they've never known before. So just get ready, because I can feel it with every fibre of my being that change is coming, and it's coming fast, because the right people are going to start standing up and demanding change and making change and creating change and giving people hope again, giving people a reason to celebrate. And I can't get Russia out of my head. It's like I belong there. It's like ever since I was a little kid, I've always known I belonged there. I've always loved Russia. And it's like, how can I put it? With the responsibility that they're going to have in being the New Jerusalem, the new Holy Land, not only am I getting ready to be put into position to go to Russia, but it's like I have to go there because they need me. Like I'm gonna be their mum. The birth of the new world. I'm helping birth a new Russia. I'm Mother Russia, Mother of Russia. That's how it feels. That's how it feels. It's the only way I can explain it, and because of that, everything changes. So get ready. Who am I saying that to, me or you? Just get ready, people, because something huge is coming, and then you're going to know God is real. Because we're about to pull off one hell of a miracle that nobody sees coming, but I do, and I'm preparing you for it now. It's going to be the best year of our lives. For those of us that aren't corrupt and evil and sinister and tyrannical. It's like a flood's coming, a tsunami's coming. It's going to wash it all away. And then rising up from the waters of the deepest part of the ocean is going to be a wellspring of eternal evolution. It's the only way I can describe it. Constant change in a better direction. Whether that means spiritually or physically or economically, I don't know. but I know it's coming, so get ready. It's like I'm literally waiting to hear a knock at the door. So anyway, I gotta go now because it's like I get heartburn, but it's not heartburn, it's just pain from where I was, from the constant vomiting. I don't know, this is what I keep saying to Father, I don't know what I'm going to do about pain. If he's wanting me to go to Russia, I don't know what I'm going to do. Because I can't take prescription medication, I'm allergic to everything. I've tried other organic alternatives to God's green, and it's not legal in Russia. But I'm trusting the plan. I don't know. I don't know. God keeps saying have faith in him. So it's going to be whatever it is. And I don't necessarily, maybe it's not that I live there, because the plan is immigrate to Canada and do business with Russia, and they're right next door. So I could be there a lot. I don't know, but I'm trusting God's plan, and he's telling me to get ready, and you need to as well. So I'm going to go now, and let's see what happens. Overnight change. Overnight. By the time, and I don't know if it's like this morning. I'm not saying it. I'm just saying it's coming. We're going to go to bed one night and wake up the next morning, and I'm not even going to be in the same country. Get ready, because when the sun rises, it's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. And I'm feeling good. Da-dun, 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 da-dun. I'm talking quietly because the animals are outside feeding. So, I'll speak to you later. Hold your head up high and know that you are loved. And I'll see you when the sun rises. Ka kite anō.